Since 1935, the Heisman Memorial Trophy has been awarded 86 times to 85 outstanding college football players. Today, we're going to focus on the one. The only man to ever win the Heisman twice in the 86-year history of the prestigious award is Archie Mason Griffin. Griffin was born in Columbus, Ohio, and was a standout fullback at Eastmoor High School. The fullback was a different position at this time. He rushed for over 1,700 yards and 29 touchdowns as a senior. Archie was considering attending Northwestern University, but ultimately decided to stay local and signed with the Ohio State University Buckeyes. In his first year on campus, Griffin won the starting position. When it was noted that many sophomores were disappointed that the freshman took the starting role, head coach Woody Hayes said, quote, "He's a better young man than he is a football player, and he's the best football player I have ever seen." In the 1972 season, he averaged 5.5 yards while rushing for 867 yards and 3 scores. He did this as the T formation halfback. But before the start of his sophomore season, the Buckeyes converted to the I formation, and Archie Griffin absolutely exploded when they made this change. In 1973, he averaged 6.4 yards per carry and scored 7 touchdowns while rushing for 1,577 yards. Starting with this season, Griffin led the Big Ten in rush yards for 3 straight seasons. This feat would not be matched until Jonathan Taylor did it from 2017 to 2019. On December 12, 1974, Archie Griffin won his first Heisman by collecting 59% of the votes for the award. This was the culmination of his junior year, in which he rushed for a career-high 1,695 yards on 256 carries, which averaged out to 6.6 yards per carry, which was another career-high mark. He also rushed for 12 touchdowns. This is interesting to note because his other 3 years combined only saw 14 rushing touchdowns, so 1974 was by far Archie's best season, statistically. Returning for his senior year, it was probably assumed that Griffin was going to surpass his great year with a legendary one. He rushed for 1,450 yards, only 4 touchdowns, and averaged 5.5 yards per carry, all of which were the lowest statistics since his freshman year in the T formation. Griffin garnered 57% of the Heisman votes and made history as the first, and to date only, 2-time Heisman winner. There is a little controversy surrounding this win, as many feel that the award could have easily been given to either California's Chuck Muncie or even Pitt's Tony Dorsett. Of course, he would win it the next year with 75% of the votes. Both players had 7 more rushing touchdowns, averaged over a yard more per carry, and had more rush yards on fewer rushes. And to think, if Tony Dorsett won in 1975, this video very well could have been about him. He could have been the one. Dorsett, however, would go on to have the far superior pro career. Archie Griffin was drafted 24th overall by the Cincinnati Bengals, which is cool that he was able to play his entire football career, up to this point, in his home state and fairly close to his hometown. Griffin is considered one of the biggest draft busts in Cincinnati history, though. In his 7 seasons with the team and in the league, he amassed 2,808 rush yards and 7 touchdowns, while adding 1,607 yards and 6 TDs receiving. Griffin did get to play in Super Bowl 16, although he was reduced to more of a utility back by this point. By the end of 1982, he was out of football, although he would return in 1985 to play with the USFL's Jacksonville Bulls before retiring for good. But let's not end on that note. Instead of remembering him as one of the biggest NFL draft busts in history, let's remember him like most people do, as one of the best and most accomplished college football players in history. He helped lead Ohio State to a 40-5-1 record in his 4 years, and he was the first of only 2 players in history to start in 4 Rose Bowl games. In his second game ever, he broke a school record for rush yards in a game by putting up 239 against North Carolina. But that wasn't good enough. The next year, he ran for 246 yards against Iowa. He rushed for at least 100 yards in 34 of his 46 games and did so in 31 consecutive games. He won the Big Ten Player of the Year, the Player of the Year, and the Walter Camp Award each twice. He was also the Maxwell Award winner in 1975 and was the Sporting News Man of the Year the same year. He's a College Football Hall of Famer, a Varsity O Hall of Famer, and his number 45 has been retired by Ohio State. During his pro playing career, both Archie and his brother Ray filed for bankruptcy after a failed investment in athletic footwear stores, but he didn't let that keep him down. He has since gone on to be a former president and CEO of the Ohio State University Alumni Association, the spokesperson for the Wendy's High School Heisman Award, a former assistant AD for OSU, and has even been an investor in a minor league baseball team. By all accounts, Griffin is one of the greatest on the field, but an even better man off it, which I think helped him when his pro career went the way it did. While his pro career obviously didn't pan out the way he hoped, he will always be one of the greats, and for the foreseeable future, he'll continue to be the one.